all our lovely students of Aspire Academy and also the students who haven't joined Aspire yet. A very good afternoon, a very good evening to you all. Everybody must be getting very anxious now that the exams are literally around the corner. So I just wanted to wish you all the best and we'll give you just some tips, some strategies for your last minute preparations so that you can do your best and get the best results for all the hard work that you've done in the last year. First of all, try not to get very anxious. I know it's easier said than done, but the more relaxed you are, the more chilled out you are, the better your brain will perform and the better you will do on the day of the exam, and hence a better result. Just like you guys, I had done my exams over the years. In fact, even at this age, I'm still doing my exams. So I know every exam is quite difficult. Every exam is a kind of torture, but then life itself is an exam too. So মই সদায় এইটোৱে ভাবিছিলোঁ যে এইটো এটা আৰু এটা পৰীক্ষা, এইটো পৰীক্ষা দিয়াৰ পিছত আৰু এটা পৰীক্ষা আহিব, গোটেই জীৱনটোৱে পৰীক্ষা, পৰীক্ষাটো দিবই লাগিব, বেছি চিন্তা কৰি বেছি ভয় কৰিও লাভ নাই, ইমান দিন যিখিনি কষ্ট কৰিছিলোঁ সেই কষ্টটো সেই পৰীক্ষাৰ দিনা আমি এটা পাৰফৰ্মেঞ্চ দিব লাগিব, জাষ্ট লাইক ষ্টেজত উঠি এখন নাটক কৰা বা গান গোৱা, ঠিক তেনেকৈ পৰীক্ষা বহীখন লিখাটো একেধৰণৰে কথা. So the age-old saying that practice makes a man perfect is really true. You know, the more you fail to practice is more you practice to fail in a way. But I know all of you must have done a lot of hard work. But it's not just about working hard, it's also about working smart. And now, these last few days, the last few moments are really, really important so that you can use every minute to the best of your capacity, the best of your brain's capability to retain. So try and do the smart things. It is always easier to be better when you are good than to become good from the point zero. So focus more on your strong subjects. Try and do the best and practice. Make sure you divide your time of the day for each subject, at least an hour each for every subject every day, so that you can at least be in touch with every single subject, because whether we like it or not, you get judged on the marks you secure for every subject, not just the ones where you do well or the ones that you like. সেইকাৰণে চেষ্টা কৰিবা যে দিনটোৰ প্ৰতিটো সময়ত কমচে কম 1 ঘণ্টা হ'লেও এটা এটা ছাবজেক্ট টাচ কৰিবলৈ. when I was doing my metric examination, মই সেই সময়ত চেষ্টা কৰিছিলোঁ যে লাষ্টৰ কেইদিন যিমান পাৰোঁ সিমান পঢ়োঁ গোটেইকেইটা ছাবজেক্ট, এটলিষ্ট যিটো আমি স্কিম ৰিডিং বুলি কওঁ, এটলিষ্ট পেজ বাই পেজ উল্টিয়াই যাবলৈ, চ' ডেট যিখিনি আমি বছৰটোত পঢ়িছিলোঁ সেইখিনি আকৌ এবাৰ আমাৰ ব্ৰেইনটোত ৰিফ্ৰেছ হয়. Also try and go through the past papers. It is more than likely that if you have done the past papers of the last 5 years, you will have some common questions at least. And if not entirely common, then you will at least have similar questions, so that your brain will be able to understand those questions when you see them in the exam. Do make sure that in these last few days you keep yourself hydrated. Jivan para himan pani fluids চৰবত চাহ তেনেকুৱা জাতীয় বস্তু খাবা, juice খাবা, because it's very important to maintain the water balance in your body, because otherwise you will get fatigued very soon, and when you are fatigued, then as a medical doctor I can tell you that you will build up lactic acid in your muscles, and it will also cause exhaustion of the brain as well, and therefore the retention capacity will go down, and it will also affect your health. So make sure you drink plenty of water, plenty of fluids. Make sure you get adequate rest, কাৰণ টোপনি নোহোৱাকে continuous পঢ়ি গ'লে your brain will shut down at some point and your retention capacity will go down. So one important strategy is to take a couple of minutes break every hour, and possibly close your eyes for a minute every 20 to 30 minutes, so that you could just distract your brain, and therefore also help in rewiring it, redirect your brain. It's almost like restarting the computer if it goes slow. So you're kind of restarting your computer every time you take a break or you close your eyes for a minute. These things really work. It's also important to make sure that you do try and do something which will help you relax in between, whether that is watching a little bit of TV, watching something on the mobile. I know your mom and dad probably won't like me for saying this. It can even be reading a book that you like, but it is important that you do something which will help you relax a little bit, and therefore reduce your stress levels. And that is very important as well, because as I said right at the beginning, being relaxed will help in retaining more. If you have been told of any mnemonics or any formulas to remember certain long terms, then try and remember those formulas. Try not to guesswork the questions, because it is highly improbable that your guesswork will come true, because all the examiners or all the question paper setters have been ones who have also gone through the same exams, and they know exactly the way you think. So the important thing is honesty. So do try and concentrate more on your stronger subjects, but also don't try and not pay attention to to the subjects that you don't like. Again, within the subjects, say for example, if you are particularly worried about maths, I'm sure there are certain topics within maths that you like them more or you are stronger at. For example, I used to like calculus and algebra more than I used to like trigonometry. So therefore, I tried to spend more time in doing those topics that I really liked rather than slogging myself at the topics that I didn't feel I was very strong at. But it's also essential that you try and devote your time according to the marks that are being set for each topic. For example, if you feel that there are 10 marks to calculus and 5 marks in trigonometry, then obviously you should try and spend more time in doing uh, more calculus than in trigonometry. I'm just giving you an example. That might not be the case, but basically you spend your last few days before the exam into the topics that carry more marks, and whether that is science, whether that's social studies, whether that is literature, so try and do them. Also, there are certain things which is more black and white than gray. For example, if we are talking about English or Assamese, certain things like English grammar would have more black and white marks, which means that if you do them correctly, you will definitely secure those marks. Whereas on the other hand, if it's a literature subject where you have been asked to describe a certain thing or to write an essay, then it can be quite subjective, and it can depend on the mood of the examiner or of the person who's checking your paper as to how many marks you get. And two students writing almost similar essays might get two different marks. Whereas if it's grammar and you do your grammar correctly, then irrespective of whoever marks you, you will get the same mark. So therefore, try and concentrate more on those things which are more black and white and which will give you more marks. The other important thing, which I have found to be very true in my case, especially in subjects where you can draw, use your drawing as much as possible. For example, in geography, in science, in subjects like biology, physics, use your diagrams to the maximum. The diagrams don't have to be fantastic. You do not have to be a fantastic artist to do that. As long as you can give an idea of what you are trying to portray, then please use the diagrams. A diagram or a picture speaks 1,000 words. So, যিমান পাৰা তোমাৰ বহীখনত আনচাৰ শ্বীটখনত ছবি আঁকিবা, যেতিয়াই পৰা চান্স পোৱা, কিবা এটা অপৰচুনিটি আহে যিকোনো এটা কুৱেশ্যনত, তাতে ছবি আঁকি পেলাই বুজাবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰিবা. Being in medicine for all these years, I've always found that putting in any diagram in your answer always helps. So do try and make it as pictorial as possible. That will definitely help and it will impress the examiner. It is also important to have a good handwriting. Now I know it's a very difficult thing to talk about because especially when you're writing in speed, then your handwriting may not be the best. And again, as a doctor, there is almost a saying that says that if you have got a good handwriting, you are not a good doctor. But that's not always true. It doesn't mean that you have got to have absolutely amazing cursive writing. No, what I mean to say is that your handwriting should be legible. যে তুমি যিটো লিখা সেইটো যাতে তোমাৰ এক্সামিনাৰে বেছি কষ্ট নোহোৱাকৈ পঢ়িব পাৰে। তুমি এন লিখিছা নে আৰ লিখিছা, ইট ইজ ভেৰি ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট। তুমি J লিখিছা নে I লিখিছা, that is also very important. So it is very important to cross the T's and dot the I's, as we say in English. Similarly, when you're writing numbers, make sure you write your numbers properly so that there is no confusion on whether it's a 2 or a 3 or it's a 3 or a 5, that sort of thing. So to make sure that you don't have to have calligraphic writing, but when you write it clearly, write it legibly so that it is easily readable by your examiner. And if me as an examiner, when I used to check books, I always loved a copy that is neat and tidy, an answer sheet that is neater and tidier than someone else's will always give a better impression to to the copy checker and will invariably carry more marks. So do try and do that. It is not necessary that you write loads and loads, but when you're writing an answer, always make sure that the beginning and the end of an answer, especially if it's a long answer question, it's the beginning and the end that matters the most. Because the examiner will always make their decision or have the impression within the first few lines of your answer, and that will decide whether they go ahead and read the whole answer or whether they just decide to give you marks on the basis of what you had written in the first few lines, and similarly on how you are closing your answer. And so these are small things which makes a huge difference. And I can carry on. I'm talking some of these from my own experiences, and I was lucky enough in a way to score pretty good marks in my matriculation examination, and I received I got into Cotton College, which was a premier institution at that time, and to get into Cotton College was like a dream for everyone. And yeah, my roll number was roll number 12. So I did a pretty decent job, I feel, at that time. And in fact, I was among the top 20 students of the state, and we were taken on a tour of Assam by the Tea Auction Center, the Tea Board, back in 1991. So, having said that, coming back to the things that really matter, so it is again important that you use every moment of these last few days to the best of your advantage. So try and keep a calm mind. Try not to get into arguments because you will obviously feel tense and therefore irritable. But any arguments, any confrontation with your siblings, with your friends, with your parents, and all will only harm you, not anyone else. So keep calm, take care of your health. That's very important. We often undermine that because the last thing you would want to do is to fall sick just before your exam. So avoid doing things where there are chances of getting injured because that can also affect your health and therefore your performance. Treat the exam day as being on the stage, and it's just those 3 hours that you have to perform. Unfortunately, the way it is that irrespective how good or bad, how dedicated and sincere you had been in the whole year. What really counts are those 3 hours. And therefore, how you perform in those 3 hours will decide what your future is going to be. But that is not the end of the world. What is really important is that you do your best and you try to be the best that you can. তোমালোকে কোনো নোৱাৰাৰ কথা নাই. So have the belief in yourself যে পাৰিবা, ভালকে পাৰিবা, যিখিনি তোমালোকে ইমান দিন পঢ়িছা সেইখিনি মনত কৰিবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰিবা. প্ৰতিটো বস্তু একদম word by word memorize কৰিবলৈ চেষ্টা নকৰিবা, কাৰণ সেইটো কৰাটো সম্ভৱ নহয়. And if you then forget a little bit of what you had memorized, then it will send you into a panic, and therefore it will affect your whole answer. So try and just remember some bullet points or some keywords for those answers. And generally, যদি তোমাৰ কনচেপ্টটো ক্লিয়াৰ হৈ আছে, তেতিয়াহ'লে তোমাৰ কুৱেশ্যনটো যেনেকুৱা ধৰণে নুসুধক, you will be able to do it. You know, there is the conception that exams are set so that examinees will fail. That's not true. All your teachers want you to pass, all your teachers want you to achieve good marks, and their intention is to help you in the best possible way. But of course, the ones who have worked harder should be fairly rewarded. So therefore, there is this competition. So, but don't compete with anyone else. Your competition is not with the person sitting next to you or the person who had scored more or less than you. Your competition is with yourself. You want to do well for your own sake. I know we often put ourselves under pressure as to what our parents will think, what our teachers will think, what the society will say if I don't do well. But remember, this is your exam, this is your life, this is for you. So, irrespective of what others think, don't worry about that. Do it for yourself, do the best you can, and you will do very, very well. This is my promise to you, this is my assurance to you. And if you have any questions, just write on the chat box or ask us, or you subscribe to Aspire Academy online coaching on our website www.aspireacademycoaching.com, and we will see you again on our video chats. And if you are not aware, let me tell you again, we are holding live sessions every single day with the MCQs and questions which are most likely to come in your exams. So do check out our channel and subscribe to this channel so that you get regular updates of our live sessions. All our teachers are fantastic. Anmol ma'am, Muskan ma'am, Supriti ma'am, and all our other teachers, including Hirok sir, Brigu sir, Ridip sir, they are all trying their best, and they will be giving you the top tips and the top MCQs for the exams. So do watch them. It'll not be wasting your time. It'll help you towards it. And I am Dr. Bhaskar Bora. I am the CEO of Aspire Academy. I am a medical doctor, and I am also a student and career counselor. And I will be with you till your exams are over, every step of the way, and we will keep you inspired. And I am available for any questions that you have, and you can email me or you can check on the Aspire website. My email is enquire.aspireacademy@gmail.com. So we are here for you, and hopefully we will see you in the coming year as well, where you will be enrolling and studying with us so that you can study with fun You can learn with fun, and we will be there to support you all the way. I'll see you very soon. Thank you very much.